Okay, now I want you to go ahead and get in your easy seat if you haven't already. Goodbye to the baby. And now we're going to breathe. And I want you just to think about whatever kind of tension, stress, just imagine that melting away with each breath you're taking. Right now you should be taking the deepest breaths that you've taken all day. Just allowing your body to kind of sink into the space that it's sitting in. Awesome. Next thing I want you to do, I'll scoot myself back to some better. We're not going to sit cross-legged anymore. We're going to put the bottoms of our feet together. So this is called bound angle. You can adjust how far out your feet are. That will help with how difficult the pose is. And then I want you to take this arm right here, bring it to the outside of the opposite knee. Other arms behind, and just twist, looking over your shoulder. Slowly coming out of the twist, back to center, same thing, other side. This arm now, on the outside of that leg, this arm is behind, and we look over that shoulder. And now coming undone. Excellent. Go ahead and sit back in your easy seat. We're now going to do some slow and gentle neck rolls. So you're going to roll your neck in one direction, very slowly. This one's kind of focusing on our necks. Very slow. If you notice any kinks, you can stop and maybe try to work it out. And then keep going. Nice and slow, taking your neck to its full extension as you roll your head around. Now rolling the other direction. Again, stopping if there are any kinks to work them out. Do one more roll and then put your head back to center. The next thing I want you to do, again, we're doing almost all seated poses today. So you're gonna be seated here. Hands can be on your knees or on your thighs. We're gonna do some shoulder rolls. So bringing shoulders from front to back and up to the ears. We carry a lot of tension in our shoulders. If you carry a backpack or a one shoulder purse like I do, then we use our shoulders a lot to carry a lot of burden. We also hold a lot of emotional tension in our shoulders. So we're just massaging all that away today. Awesome. Bring them the other way, back to front. We're just giving our shoulder bones a little workout. Perfect. Bring your shoulders back to neutral. What we're going to do now is called a twisted pose, another twist. So extend, this is my left leg, extend your left leg out. Other leg is going to sit on the opposite side of it. So we're bringing that right foot to the outside of your left leg. Same thing we did earlier, we're twisting. So you're going to take your left arm on that right leg, looking over your right shoulder. See as you breathe, if you can deepen the stretch, lifting your chest up towards the ceiling. And slowly coming out of the pose. Same thing, other side. You can give your knees a little bounce if that feels good to you. I'm stretching my right leg out. I'm going to lift my left leg gently, place it on the outside of my right leg. My right arm is now on the outside of my left leg. My left arm is behind me, looking over my left shoulder. If you need me to repeat that setup again, let me know. I'm happy to do so. And just hold it. And slowly coming back out of the pose. The next one we're going to do is on my notes. Oh, an interesting one. So we're going to do one that we've never done before called rabbit pose. If this one seems too difficult for you, you can simply sit in easy seat or take child's pose like this, okay? So we're going to start off in tabletop. And you're going to take your head, and you're going to place the very top of your head on the ground and bring your hands behind you and hold it. This is rabbit pose. Stimulating a lot of blood flow to the head, so you should be able to think really clearly after this. Now is a great time after yoga to do your homework. Again, if this is not comfortable or accessible, feel free to take a child's pose. Place your hands beside your head, gently lifting it up. Excellent. Coming back to a seated position, stretching your left leg out, leaving your right leg inside. We're not taking it to the outside this time. Your right foot is up against your left thigh. You're going to take 2 fingers and your thumb and hook them around your toe. If that's not accessible to you, your hand can go right here on your leg. Now let's hold this for a second. Getting into the pose. Your muscles will feel really tight at first. But as we breathe and as we sit, it will loosen up. Letting go of that toe when you feel ready, coming up slowly, swapping sides. So now my right leg is out, my left foot is up against my right thigh. Leaning up nice and straight, folding from the hips, and trying to hook my pinkies and my thumbs around my toe. Again, if that's not accessible to you, you can have your hands on your shin or on the ground, whatever works. It's a beautiful thing about yoga. It's very much like what's best for you. Your yoga, your way. We're holding. And just noticing if you feel any stretching sensations and bringing your attention there. And now slowly walking ourselves up. Perfect. Back into easy seat. Your left hand will be on the ground beside you. Your right hand is going to sweep up and over. Really nice side stretch. And you can look up towards the ceiling if you'd like. And just hold this for a moment. My hair has decided to be wild. We're going to let it do its thing. This is what it wants, so okay. Feel that stretch here in your side. I also feel my right hand supporting me. Sweeping back up to center. Bring your right hand down beside you, sweeping that left hand up and over. You can look up at the ceiling. Notice your breaths here. If your breath has sped back up and become more shallow, invite it to slow down. Sweeping your arms back down. Taking your hands in front of you, interlocking your fingers and opening the palms towards your mouth. Push those palms out and raise your arms up high. Take a nice deep breath here. One more inhale. And with your exhale, lean this way. And bring it on up. One more inhale. And exhale. Bring it on up. Undo your fingers. Bring them down. You can jazz hands them if you want. Like they flutter. Love that. Awesome. Next one we're going to do is one of my favorites. I love this one. It's a great shoulder stretch. I want you to go ahead and get into tabletop position, which is where your knees and your hips are directly stacked on top of each other. It's like you're being on all fours, okay? So hands are below your shoulders, knees are below your hips. Go ahead and raise up the arm that's closest to me. See this hole here that I've made between my arm and my leg? This arm is going to sweep down between it, and I'm going to rest on my shoulder. For a different angle, I'll show you. You don't have to move, just in case you don't know what I'm doing. I raise this one up, laying on that shoulder. It's called thread the needle, so it is like you're threading a needle. And just rest on that shoulder for a bit. I can seriously go to sleep here. I don't know about you. One of my favorites. Okay, same thing, other side. I'm gonna turn myself. So I just threaded my right arm through. I'm now gonna thread my left arm through, just making sure there's no shots. Okay, cool. So lift your left hand up, thread it through the needle, or thread the needle through. Or I guess, yeah, thread it through the needle. You put thread through a needle. All right. Anywho, rest on that left shoulder. This arm's just chilling. This arm's just right here. Your head is on the ground. Your hips are square with the side of the room. And just rest here for a minute. Check in with your body again. Slowly unthreading. Excellent job. Staying on your hands and knees. We're going to lower ourselves down to the floor. And then you can either halfway lift for cobra or all the way lift for a big cobra. And if you want to really challenge, you lift your legs up too. This is called up dog. Hold this for a second. Knees down is totally fine. And push back into child's pose. Pushing yourself up back to tabletop. Cross your legs. If you want, you can swing them in between your arms. You don't have to do that. We're now going to do another different one that we've never done before. It's called fish pose. Letting somebody in. Give me just a second. So what we're gonna do now with fish pose is you're going to act like you're gonna lay down. You're actually not. You're gonna have your hands under your hips and your shoulders stacked underneath you. Legs move straight out. Hands are below your hips. You've lifted your shoulders up a bit so that the back of your head is kind of like off the ground as well. It's like the top back of your head. You can totally do this with a pillow too if that's helpful. When you're ready, you can slowly come on down. Perfect. Awesome. Last thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna give you a choice. You can do a laying on your back, final resting pose, or a laying on your stomach, final resting pose. If you're laying on your back, I want you to first hug your knees to your chest like this. So if you're gonna lay on your back for the final pose, do this first. If you decide you wanna lay on your stomach for the last pose, I want you to go back into child's pose. So go ahead and pick the one that you're gonna do. If you're gonna lay on your stomach, eventually be in child's pose. If you're gonna lay on your back, eventually you've just got your knees hugged to your chest. When you're ready, go ahead and extend your body out. If you have your knees to your chest, you're going to extend your body to where you're laying completely flat on the ground. And if you are in child's pose, you're going to stretch your body out to where you're completely laying on your stomach. Head can be to one side or the other. And if you're on your back, just try to stare up at the ceiling. I invite you now to close your eyes if you're comfortable. If you're uncomfortable, that's fine. Just soften your gaze. We're just going to spend a couple of minutes here noticing our breathing and just noticing whatever comes up to the surface of our mind. If your head is turned to one side, go ahead and turn it to the opposite side now. If your head has been straight up at the ceiling and you're on your back, you can just leave it there. But regardless, I know I'm feeling better because you guys are here, and that makes me really happy. So thanks so much for showing up today for me and for you, most of all.